Good afternoon, good morning, good day to all my blessed beloveds out there in living and thriving land. It's Rustie. I have been back to back today, and you kind of just caught me swallowing the last bit of my food. It's been a little crazy, and it's beautiful, creation and rebuilding my brand and learning new technology and not really liking to be on camera. But getting through that has been really interesting. What's been more interesting are all of the people that I've been able to meet all over the world. I've been to so many countries all in one day. I feel like Doctor Who, I just get into my little phone booth and I get to meet all these beautiful people from all over the world. And we're talking about what it takes to live and thrive in a pandemic, in a change in the world. And we're living a new way of being. We're existing in a different way than we've ever existed before. And technology has definitely been pushed into its limits. And being one of the last people that had a telephone connected to the wall, it's really an interesting ride. My daughter, who's 14, she has no idea what it's like to have to hide around the corner under the table to have your conversation because the phone's actually connected to the wall. Or having to dial with the rotary. I'm not old, actually. I didn't meet dinosaurs, so I'm not that old. Close. Some of the takeaways that we've had on this show are finding your passion. What makes your soul burn? What gets you excited? What gets you out of bed? Like, I do this and my blog and my radio show and all of this stuff because I love meeting people and hearing their stories and hearing how they just take something really painful and they make it beautiful, because that's what we do. Believe it or not, we do that. It's crazy how creative we can be. Some of the other takeaways we've had is, vacation time's over. It's time to get out of your pajamas, end your relationship with Netflix, get up, get a routine, brush your teeth, put on your deodorant, act like you're going out to work, even if you're stepping 15 feet across the room. And that's really important for your mind, your body, and your soul. And the reason why we need to end vacation thinking is because most of us are getting fat. My pants the buttons are celebrating social distancing. I lost 30 pounds, gained 15 back. We're up and we're doing a routine again. Vacation time is over. What else can you do to satisfy your mind, body, and soul? It's absolutely imperative that you look around your space and find things to create. Creativity opens up parts of your brain that you probably forgot you even had, because people don't finger paint anymore. Well, I do, but that's what I do for a living. Make collages, read books, paint, go garden. I've been gardening my little tush off for the last month. And it's healing and it's inspiring and it gives me that quiet space so that I can go back in, reflect, and redirect. Because that's what all of this is about. We're in a little bit of a timeout. Doesn't mean you are off your duty of being a better version of you every day. What else can you do? My absolute favorite, my number one go-to, be of service. Do something for someone else. There's hardly enough of that. We need way more of that. And if you remember from the last few episodes, just PM me your address and I'll send you a personalized card, because I'm servicing two people. I'm giving you a personalized card and I'm helping the post office make some money because I'm buying stamps. Win-win, servicing two. Think about how you can service somebody today. Now, I have Anne on. She is calling from the beautiful England. And so we had a mishap with scheduling. I'm glad she's here. But I bet you she didn't know that I was a semi-finalist in England recently.
No. Wow.
I was on a game show called Funky Thinkers. Have you heard of Jonathan yet?
Yeah.
Well, I'm so excited because I was a semi-finalist. I didn't have to win and be the grand finale. I was just excited to be there because it was so much fun. But he's given me the privilege to have his game show board game on my website. So you guys who watched the Funky Thinker episode and had a total blast, Jonathan and his team actually created a writer's version of Funky Thinkers for Moa. I'm so spoiled. I'm so excited. So that is going up today, and you can play with anybody anywhere in the world. because it's virtual. It's a virtual board game. And he did that because his parents were not able to come out of quarantine. And so they play safely. So you guys can play with me if you want. That would be fun. And I have to apologize to you because I had you on for 11 a.m. Eastern time. And I had you on for noon. I forgot to take the 11 off. And for some reason, your assistant had it as 3. So I don't know what happened, but you're finally here. And you have a delightful story to share with us. Who are you? What do you do? And what inspires you to be you?
Right, who am I? Well, I'm Anne from England. I live up the road from the Queen. She hasn't popped in for tea yet, unfortunately, but, you know, she's not far away. I basically grew up with a psychic grandmother, but I wasn't very intuitive. I know people have these amazing stories, but I didn't have an amazing story. It just wouldn't work for me. And what's good about that is it meant I had to go out and find out how it worked. I had no doubt that people were intuitive. It just wasn't working for me. So I've spent, all my life just trying to find out the processes. How does it work? How can you use it more often? I mean, our ancestors didn't need all this because they did it naturally because they were in survival mode. So I worked, my best friend bought me a pack of tarot cards and that was it. I tried to learn them several times. I got in a real muddle. What's it mean when it's next to that one? And what's that? And she bought me this pack. I picked them up and I knew them. It was one of them things, when the cards start talking to you, but when you're young and naive, you don't understand that. So it was great. So I read cards for many, many years. And I always had a great interest in past life regression. But you've got to remember, this is before internet, before Google. I couldn't find a regressionist. And I heard these amazing stories. You couldn't even get spiritual books unless you went right into the centre of London. One bookshop, Watkins. They're now my publisher, funny enough. But that was the only place to buy esoteric material. It was really hard to get. And I couldn't get information. I couldn't find anybody to regress me. Then the great Denise Lynn came over from America, took 800 of us in a room into our past lives. It was the most mind-blowing thing ever. She actually said afterwards, I didn't think it went very well. Because in America, people jump up and they whoop. And at the end, we all just went, oh, thank you, just politely.
That's English are known for being polite. That's how you're raised. We're raised to be obnoxious, wild heathens, We're a little bit more wild and loud.
The thing is, she said, when she got home, there was a huge pile of letters. People said it was the most profound experience in my life. So she suddenly realized, oh, we're not at the time, but she realized she's come back a number of times. So I decided I was going to work with past life regression, work with that for 20 odd years. And then I started working with future life regression. Now, I didn't know it existed. I had some young military guys come to see me and they wanted to find out something from the past. And they said, could you take us back to the past? And so I brought somebody else in to take us back and all 3 of us jumped forward. This was 3 weeks before the attack on the Twin Towers and we saw it. All 3 of us saw different, some aspect of it, and that was very unsettling because we didn't know enough to stop it. We hadn't changed anything. It was pretty, I think we were all shaken up. It was so unprecedented. But after a little while, I started to think, supposing I can do this at will. So we started sort of having little sessions and we were consistently accurate. We did that for 3 years. And I think somehow or other, we thought maybe it's a bit of a fluke. Maybe, And then one of the big shots in the spiritual field said, why aren't you writing this down and dating it? Because what you're saying is happening time and time again. So I started to document it. I also started to take my clients 5 years into the future. And what really interested me was things they were seeing at 5 years were often happening within a few months. So, my husband in the future, they'd see themselves married to somebody. They'd meet them a few months later, or the job or the business. It's also, we've all done it, go down so many dead ends, waste time on the wrong things. We have so much choice. We were going straight to what we wanted. So we were kind of bringing the best of the future back into our current consciousness. And that's when my life kind of exploded. Everything took off big time. And for the people I've trained and for my clients, it starts to make everything happen. So what gets me out of bed every morning? Listen, at Christmas, I kind of go and sneak into my office. I mean, we're on shutdown, we're on lockdown, and I'm creeping into my office every day. I find what I do amazingly exciting because it brings incredible people into my life. But I think I can see people's potential with what I'm doing. We hold ourselves back, and I love that we can kind of go into the future and find their best, most productive future where they're really living up to their full potential in all areas. That's got to get you out of bed every morning, hasn't it? You just take somebody and they go, whoa, and they walk different. They go off and they start doing incredible things. And I just think if everybody's living up to their potential, the world's going to be pretty nice. That's why.
I think this is a very exciting time personally. I understand that people have had to reprogram themselves to understand silence and quiet and the peace that we're now surrounded with, which is very hard for some people, especially if you're right down the street from the Queen. You know, your part of the world is a little loud and very busy, right? Normally.
Yeah, very.
And so right now it's just probably very quiet. And people aren't used to that. It kind of shakes them and shifts them. The exciting part about what you're doing is that you're able to tap into something in the future, which is great. I think that's so cool. But my question to you, because you said it a couple of times, you were talking about time. Universe doesn't really equate time like humans try to control the space. So it makes sense to me that, you know, whatever your premonition was moving forward with these people, that it was happening sooner, because in our mind, we always push things off.
Yes. Yeah.
Isn't that like almost a form of denial, right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. We kind of, Stuart Wilde, I don't know if you ever read any Stuart Wilde. It's one of my favorite spiritual teachers. And he said, we kind of want things. So people say things, oh, I want to win the lottery. He said, but in their mind, they're thinking, yeah, but if I win the lottery, my sister will hate me and my husband will become a playboy. And he said, the universe comes back and says, I'll come back when you know what you want. We have this mixture inside us. We go, I don't deserve that. Oh, I'm about to make a mess of it. And so we have all this, we don't admit it, but we have these little doubts floating around. When you go straight to your best future and you find yourself, you've got to be able to feel it. And when you feel what it's like to be there, it changes something. You've got to be able to feel it, to be able to taste it, to be able to see it, then it starts to happen. But we try and manifest with our current consciousness, with our current limitations. And I've read some super duper people, and believe me, they've all got something that blocks them. We all have. I think we've all got something.
I think it's really fun to talk about blocks and talk about, because this is an excellent time to recreate, reinvent, resculpt, whatever the term is that makes it more palatable for your hearing.
Yes.
It's a beautiful time. I really feel like in some ways, when this is all said and done, people who have more growth in this period are going to blossom into amazing butterflies or trees or whatever it is that you incorporate in your mental imagery. I think this is goosebumps. Woo!
I just had that conversation with the Hollywood director. We both think that we're going to come out. We've never had a lockdown before. We've never had that. We've had recessions. We've had downturns. We've never had a lockdown. And this is the year of 2020. 2020 is clear vision. None of us are going to have clear vision when we're addicted to busyness. We're rushing here, we're rushing there. We're all over the bloody place where there's no sense to us. We're forced to sit down. So I spoke to another friend earlier, and she's been having meltdowns. She's like, oh my God, everything's gone wrong and my business has started. And I get these crazy calls. I've had them all the way through. And she's listening to a lot of the conspiracy stuff, which is frightening her. You know, it's going to be hideous. And today she stopped and she went, right, I've bought my ticket. I'm off to so-and-so. I've got a new business. And I know what. She needed to just stop. How are we going to have clear vision in 2020? Stop. You know, you've had it. You know, when you twist your ankle and you go, I'm being told to sit down here. I'm being told to stop. It's almost like we've been forced to stop, and emotions are coming up that we don't normally feel. when you talk to people that are in AA or NA, there's great expression. A lot of the expressions from AA and NA are coming up now. One of them is when people stop taking drugs or drinking, they say, good news is your feelings come back. Bad news is your feelings come back. And that, because we're addicted to busyness, now that we've stopped, where all this emotional stuff, we suddenly think 20 years ago, when he said that to me, where's that comfort all buried? It's all coming up. That comes up, we move on, then and I think you're right. I think we're going to reinvent ourselves.
I think it's a very exciting time. And I've talked to a lot of my friends all over the world. And, you know, here I had this envision that everybody was sitting in their pajamas, overeating and just binging out on their favorite TV shows, right? Well, no, I'm not the only one who's out there like doing different things and experimenting. People are really taking advantage of the silence.
Yes.
And larger than that, they're owning the fact that they're going through grief.
Yeah. It's
a change. And when you know, and there are people who don't understand that they're going through grief. So their reactionary selves are what we're seeing. But social media diets, absolutely. No TV. I'm a huge believer in no TV. I don't know if you've ever, heard my show or watched my show before, but kill the television. It's not putting anything good in there. But larger than that, the amount of individuals who are spiritually driven, I have a lot of friends that are shamans and light workers and healers all over the world, and we're all gathering. We're all gathering and embracing each other. Whereas there was a time period where that would be, shh, don't say anything, right?
Yeah.
And England's really flourishing in that because England has the oldest roots that we know of historically in the healing arts. So it's really fascinating to hear that you only had one book when you were younger, or one space to get information, because it's blossomed there.
It's interesting because many generations will go back. Like my grandmother, she read the tea leaves, and that was really good fun. She was a real character man, and everyone would pop in and Win, her name was Win, what? Then she'd read the tea leaves, and they'd come back and tell her what had happened. It was really good. And I don't know what she'd do. She used to go out and collect herbs and do things with them, and we'd get up really early at dawn, and the mushrooms would pop out the ground behind us. So she was a really amazing character. But it goes right back through our folklore, through our ancestry. It's nice. Yeah, it's part of us. But do you know, the Brits are really quite stressed with it all, though. They are quite stressed. So maybe this will put them back in touch with their spiritual side. I mean, I'm getting calls from people absolutely frantic because they're reading rumors online. You're absolutely right. Keep away from the negative stuff, because they're sending me pictures saying there's tanks in the middle of London. We've got martial law, and again, it's a made-up picture. Stop freaking out. Sit down, think about your life, how you can make the most of this stuff. You're absolutely right. That's what we need to be doing. But quite a lot are melting down here, but then they come out the other side.
Well, and I think those do, and those who don't. And that's the way this works for all of us. You're either, I always say one of the most amazing things about what I do is the fact that I can have 5 very different people tell you the same exact sentence, and only one of them you're going to hear. So no matter how many times I repeat my messaging, no matter how many times they repeat their messaging, you're going to resonate when it's time for you to resonate. And so those individuals who are fear-based and just putting fear into their body and into their mind and barricading their soul, they're going to have a harder time coming out of this. And that's just the reality of it. And, a long time ago, I learned I'm a big sack of water surfing on a rock into infinity, and I'm not driving. I have no control over this. So I might as well play a little poker, smoke a cigar, and have a Jameson. Just kick back and relax and let somebody else drive, because that's the way it is. And right now, we don't have a choice. And nature's saying reset for a reason. Yeah.
And it is just, if you flow, my spiritual teacher was the most amazing woman, and she would just float along. I remember once she was it was the day she was due to leave where she lived, and she had nowhere to go. I've never known anybody like her. And she said she had nowhere to go. And I was just said to her, Greta, you must be worried. And where are you going to go? She went, something could come up. And I went, but you are leaving here in a couple of hours with your cases. And she said, something will come. She had such faith in the flow. The phone rang and somebody said, look, I know it's short notice, but I've got a big house and I need somebody to house sit for the next 6 months. So she went to this huge, magnificent house for 6 months. The day she was leaving there, the same thing, Greta, because I'm like, you've got to know where you're going to be, you know. And the same day, somebody called up and said, look, I know this is short notice, but you've been looking after my friend's house. Could you look after? She ended up to an even bigger house with huge grounds to it. Just when you flow, when you have that faith, of course it's hard not to buy into it, but when you have that faith, things just, Stuart Wild taught this. He said life was never meant to be a struggle. You just stroll along and the lights turn green and bad people pass you by, they don't see you. And I think Stuart Wild was the one that really taught me the most out of anybody about how to be, how not to criticize, how to just flow along, how to have faith. He said, if it's raining, do rain. You know, don't complain it's raining. So, right, and that's really come into my head a lot. We're on lockdown, do lockdown. We're doing lockdown.
Well, and it's, you know, no matter what your life storm is, no matter what your circumstances, no matter it's all about perspective. I'm huge about perspective. The way you're experiencing lockdown is probably different than the way I'm experiencing lockdown. I mean, you know, you have very different weather than we do here in Florida, where, you know, it's perpetually sunny and we have Jurassic Park in our backyard. I have more dinosaurs than I can count. And one hisses. He's a grumpy turtle. Grumpy turtle. God. Gave him lettuce the other day and all he did was hiss at me, grumpy old man. Anyway, I don't think he's handling lockdown very well. But, you know, it's no matter where you are in life, it's what you make it. And it's the choice that you make in your perspective, in your emotional toolbox, as to whether or not you're going to do the best that you can, which is what all of us are doing.
Yeah.
And just being, because nobody really has control over what's happening, but you do have control how
and it's going to get what there's going to be more change. Okay, we got this virus, but it could just as easily been something else. It was about 5 years ago I noticed a massive shift where people were saying to me, what I've always done work-wise is no longer working. And so I suddenly realized we got to constantly be reinventing ourselves. We need a different skill set. We need different priorities to thrive in the future. What's worked in the past? You look at your granddad, what he did, he put on your grandma, they probably didn't change it. They often did one thing their entire life, often for one company. Now you have to constantly, and that's going to get faster. And that's why I wrote the new book, because I just started to really notice what people were floundering, that they didn't know what to do next. So I spent 3 years researching, 2 years writing and trying things out on clients and trying to find the way forward. And you're right, there's going to be loads more change, and we need to be in a different space in order to handle that. You know, well, AI is strong. We think it's not, but artificial intelligence is taking jobs already. It's already happening. We don't think it is. You try phoning your bank, you know, you're just talking to a person. You know, all these things are happening right now. But it does mean, and you'll really get this, it does mean that we can go and do what we want. Our ancestors didn't have that luxury. They did whatever they had to do to put food on the table. Ploughing the fields, whatever they did, going down the mines, whatever they did to earn money. We've actually got the choice. Now, choice worries us a bit because we've got so much choice. So one of the things I like to do is help people find what is going to be brilliant for them in the future, because it could change. What path do they need to get on? That's the bit I like to get to. What is their essence? They've got choice now, and they can also contribute, that they can do something they love. So that's I spend a lot of time helping people find their way forward. But increasingly I'm being invited into businesses because so many are like, whoa, what are we going to do now? And helping them reinvent themselves. How can they adapt? the people that adapt are the people that are going to thrive in the future. And that's the whole point of the new book was, let's get out there, let's keep adapting, let's find our essence, and let's live up to our potential and contribute something amazing. People who contribute are happier people. You can see they're happier people.
Well, like I always start the show with the takeaways from all the other shows. And, you know, when you contribute, that's also being of service to others, because you're taking your skill set, whether they're pain points, mistakes, failures, whatever, and you are allowing other people to bear witness to the strategies of your shifting, you're changing.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm really excited to have you on because your book is called what?
Future Vision, your working life. And it's about the 10 strategies you need in order to thrive in the future. I've researched this solid for 3 years. But one of the things I do, you'll love this, I go into the future to find out what we need now. So I spent a lot of time in the future going, oh, that's cool. That's what we're doing in a few years' time. So just get that information. I've got 10 strategies that we need in order to thrive. And if we're thriving, the world will thrive. There's a better way. There is a better way. Part of it is bringing out your own genius. And everybody's got something. They say everyone's got a book in them. I don't know about that, but I think everyone's got something to offer to the world. And it might be a book, it might be an invention, it might be a way of inspiring people, it might be making people laugh. Everybody's got something genius to put out there. And I'm very, very fascinated to find, you take somebody and you get, because people hold themselves back, think, oh, I better not, to actually help them find the big idea and run it forward. I've got a chapter on that. I've got 2 chapters on intuition, because in the future, we will use our intuition and a bit of logic. We're going to use a bit of both, and that's when we become powerful. You've got some people now very much into their logic, some that are intuitive, but kind of just float along, don't actually get grounded. You've met a lot of spiritual people that aren't grounded. We actually need both. We need to be taken seriously. You need to be spiritual and grounded. Then you become force to be reckoned with, you know, one that leads the way, inspires people. So I put quite a lot on to do with it. There's a lot of really good research as well now. The scientists are really looking into the intuitive process, and that's been amazing to see what they've come up with.
I love it. So basically you wrote a book to be a spiritual maverick. I'm in.
Yeah, good. Oh, this is great.
I found this really cool thing. You'll appreciate it. I found this little, I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, I love that. Yes,
Isn't that awesome?
Yes, great.
Yes, especially making my ancestors proud, because that's, in essence, that's what we're doing. We're kind of reconnecting with what was, what is, and what will be. And you're paving a way that's a little different than we're accustomed to seeing. Doesn't mean that it's wrong or weird or anything like that. It's just we've never really seen that before. So funny bit is, one of my dearest friends who I met in this very similar relationship, and we've been good friends since, when I met her, she was doing laughing yoga. And she's 6'2". I mean, she's just a presence of a woman. And I'm walking up an old thing in Maine, like an old street on the water. And I see this presence of a woman, and she's laughing in hysterics, but I didn't see anybody else. And I'm like, okay, this girl's going cray-cray. She's gone. And I get around this big truck, and I see all these women doing yoga and laughing. Right? So how fun. So that's how that relationship started. And I interviewed her a couple of weeks ago for this show. And she's doing laughing meditation.
I love this. I've seen laughter therapy. I love this. Is really good.
But see, the point that I'm trying to convey is she's doing something that we're not accustomed to.
We're not.
But it's very tempting. It's very exciting. It's like, you know, being a spiritual maverick isn't a bad thing. It's kind of the way you should be.
Well, we're supposed to take it all terribly seriously, isn't it? Isn't it nice when somebody said, let's laugh. I love that, because I often find the spiritual field a bit too serious for me. I like the laughter bit. That sounds amazing. How gorgeous is that?
Yeah, it's so much fun. And I have, I've met so many people who have brought their gifts forward to really enlighten and challenge what we know as our norm. And in that challenge, you get to really get good with your authentic self, because why can't you step outside of that box? Why can't you see the future? Well, you know, people can do that. There just takes practice and maybe a teacher or a really cool book. Tell us where we can find more information about you, and you know, if somebody wants to talk to you or reach out and get your book.
Yeah, great. Well, find me on Facebook and Jirsch. I think the spelling will be on here somewhere. But and Jirsch, find me on Facebook, or just get my newsletter. I do a regular newsletter. Get the book, Future Vision. I'd love you to get it. And I'm sounding like I'm pushing sales, but I'd love you to get it, because I can't tell you how hard I've worked on it, but I really think it contains the information we need. Listen, that book about adapting to change came out the week we all locked down. And people keep saying that timing is really. But yeah, find me on Facebook, contact me, I'll send you my newsletters. I always put a good cool exercise in and some really good stuff in the newsletter. But yeah,
do you happen to have your book there? Do you have a copy of your book? Show us.
Yes. Here you go, in my bottom side of an office. There you go.
Beautiful.
Future Vision, Your Working Life.
That's so exciting. Now, is this your first book that you've written?
No, it's my 5th.
Oh, you go, girl.
Yeah, it's my 5th one. But the books all took off. Once I discovered Future Life Regression, started working with it, I took one of the self-help gurus into the future, and he just said, "And you've got a 3-book deal." And I said, how am I going to get, I'm from a town, an industrial town. I'm from a poor background, not educated. How am I going to get, Victoria Beckham or Madonna can get 3 books. How do I get a 3 book? Within weeks, I had the 3-book deal, and my life just escalated. And what I love with working with Future Life Regression is we do that for other people. So other people come back and go, wow, can you imagine doing that all day? And my practitioners, we get out there and we help people kind of fast track the best bits of the future. We don't want to take years to get. I know you're supposed to be patient, but we're not really.
Nobody is. You're not human if you have that much patience. I mean, come on. Even the Dalai Lama says he works on it every day.
That's funny. I didn't know that. So yeah, this helps us to fast track, and so it's really, really very exciting. Yes, I'm super excited about the book, and the response in America has been tremendous, absolutely tremendous. Don't think any other books I bet they sold in America, but this one, the response. So it just shows. But then again, American people are quite sparky and let's get out there, let's move to the next stage. Do you know what I mean? They're pretty dynamic. There's a lot of countries I visited where they're more laid back, but Americans are quite sparky people, aren't they? They're always vibrant and want to make stuff happen.
I love the term sparky. I think that's a great way to describe most Americans, because
I love it.
When I traveled to Europe, I used to fly back and forth from Brussels, and a lot of Europeans would feel uncomfortable with the fact that I'm American. And there are certain Americans that go out with a bad attitude. But for the majority of us, I think we are sparky. I think that's a great way to put it.
What we find in London, we tend to get the Americans who are creative, and they're good for us in England because we're older, soul-wise. We're quite an old country, so we tend to overthink things and get a bit bogged down and think, oh, we better not do that. They shut up and go, right, let's make a movie. Let's make it. And we go, okay. So they're actually quite good for us. I like that sparky. That's why you've got the Brit invasion into LA. We actually need a little bit of that. And I think maybe we're a bit grounded. So it's like, well, we said, hang on, we better look at the budget, So we kind of, I think it's nice. We actually get quite excited when Americans come over. They're good fun.
I call, when people do that, when you're having a meeting and you're interacting, and then all of a sudden all of these ideas start popping, I call it the mental popcorn. So, and you get excited. And so we're used to being sparky, or what I call mental popcorn, because we're constantly on the move, Not to say that that's a good thing right now, because I think a lot of people are deprogramming from that. And it's, like we said earlier, it's kind of causing this shift and thinking and feeling
Hmm.
and being able to express emotions that you forgot you had
Oh,
because
yeah.
we are so moving and shaking, you know?
Yeah, we are. We are.
So, and if you happen to come to America, please feel free to stop by and say hi. And when I go to England, I'll try to find you. I was planning a trip to England this summer, but COVID.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you'll be over. And I have to come to Florida because my friend Kay moved to Florida. She went there for a short time and never came back, married a Florida guy. So she never came back. And she's forever saying, come over. So I have to visit Kay.
What part of Florida do you know?
I'm not sure. I'm
Okay.
not sure. She
That
was
would be funny if she was like around me. I could be like, hey, Kate, I know your friend.
She was around a place called Kissimmee. I don't know if she's still there. I don't know if I pronounced that right. She was around there.
That was right, Kissimmee.
Oh, is
That's
it?
2.5 hours away. Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. We'll see. In England, you drive more than 3 hours. You're in the sea. We're not used to you saying it's a short distance. We haven't got to get our heads around that. But yeah, I have to come and visit Kay, and I will definitely visit you. You're delightful to talk to.
I'm really grateful that you came on. It's been fun. I'm really looking forward to seeing what your next book is. Don't forget us here at Living and Thriving. We're constantly thriving and constantly living. So things change.
Absolutely.
So give us your website again.
Say that again, sorry.
Do you have a website?
Yeah, andjirsch.com. If they look up my name, andjirsch.com, you can find me on there. So I do a regular newsletter and I'm active on Facebook. Come and say hi to me. I love interacting with people. It's just brilliant. You know, the best thing about my job is the people it's brought into my life. I've ended up with lifelong friends, you know, all over the world, and it's just the best. It is the best thing. You've got the same. It's the best thing, absolute best thing. So exciting.
It is. It's very exciting. And I told my daughter when she turns 18, we're going to couch surf around the world because I can guarantee almost every country I can probably crash on a couch for a night or two. And that's really, you know, move over hotels. Who needs that? I want culture. I want a hug.
Yeah. That's when you really find the right way, don't you? That's amazing. Oh, how fabulous.
And it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. And I apologize for the scheduling mishaps, but you are a universal woman and you know how this works. It happens when it's
I know I'm flexible. I am actually. If I'm around, it's no problem at all. And I was around.
I know, but it's so late for you right now and I feel bad. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, don't worry about that. I really don't worry about. When you work with clients, you get flexible. You go, they're delayed. You can't make it. I'm kind of really flexible. If I'm around, I'm around. So I was. So it was delightful. And I could get home earlier. So that's nice. So
good. Good. Be in peace.
And you.
Thank
Delightful
you.
to talk to you. I'll talk to you again. Take care.
You're watching Living and Thriving with Rustie. I'm Rustie, and that was Ann Jirsch. Her information will be down here, or if I'm feeling playful, it might be over here. I haven't decided yet because I haven't put it together. It will be there in the next couple of days. Again, what are the takeaways from this? Move forward. I think that's the largest thing that I heard from her is it's okay to move forward. It's okay to be in the flow and relax. It's okay to accept what has been, enjoy what is, and be willing and open for what will be. That's very powerful, and that's where I'm going to leave it. Know that you're loved, know that you're beautiful, and I will see you next time.
That was fabulous.